Episode 24. This week in the news, we've got Sony's determined to make you play Deronda Death, even if they have to give it to you. Telltale continues to melt down. Nintendo Switch may have cloud saves. Whoop, never mind. And even more than that. But first, Mass Effect Andromeda. The faces aren't getting any better. Sorry. Have you heard about this, Garrett?
Yeah, I don't follow Mass Effect, but the single fact that I follow Reddit's front page, meaning plenty of people complaining and making fun of, but having a good time teasing Mass Effect and their bad graphics.
Nobody knew how much fun they'd have playing Mass Effect Andromeda. They just didn't realize the kind of fun they'd be having, laughing at it instead of with it.
Yeah.
It really is pretty ridiculous. I'm a huge Mass Effect fan. Chris and I have been playing it since the beginning almost. Chris definitely, me almost at the beginning. And we love it, but you cannot overlook how bad the facial animations are.
Is it worse? Is it unprecedented? Like no other Mass Effect looks like this?
Well, the other Mass Effects also come from another era when there was less facial expressions being built into games, so it was more forgivable then. I think it's what's really emphasizing how bad the animations are is how good the rest of the graphics are.
Okay.
It's like, imagine going to a Pixar film, you're like, this is beautiful, and then suddenly the facial animations are just like dead.
Right. Creepy.
You would notice
and compared
that.
to what else is out now.
Yeah.
Right.
So when one aspect of the graphics are so good, it emphasizes how bad the rest are.
And other games, right? You could look at a game that does it really well, which I'm sure James could tell us, and go, what? Why did Mass Effect drop the ball on that? What's a game that does facial expressions really well?
Horizon Zero Dawn was pretty good. Pretty much any game that's AAA has usually they're filming them. They actually film the faces of real actors.
That's some live action capture stuff.
Yeah, live action capture. I imagine that can't be what's going on with Andromeda because they're so bad.
Yeah.
What's one that was recent I liked?
And they're bad they're bad because there's no expression, but then there's like bad expressions. Like it'd be one thing if they were just still, but like
sometimes they have the wrong facial expressions.
Yeah, there's some misaligned pupils. It's just
there's a weird one where they're smiling when they're like, this bad thing happened.
Yeah. Was that the
No spoilers.
Seinfeld
yeah.
thing? Oh, yeah.
Did they kind of just look like they're smiling?
I'm here because this other guy died. He couldn't be here.
Yeah.
Smile.
Now, the real news here, because we talked about the facial expressions in our review of Mass Effect. Not really. It was more like an early impressions of Mass Effect Andromeda. But the real news this time is that they've announced that there will be no patch for this. That this is just the way it is. Get used to it. Gamergate.com
we're
has
okay with mediocrity.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously.
Gamergate.com has accused a certain person. I don't want to say her name, but essentially she had posted... She was a famous cosplayer, and she had posted that she's the lead designer for the facial animations for Mass Effect Andromeda. She posted this a while ago.
Is she a game designer or just a...
Well, the claim is that she is talentless, but because of being who she is, she got this job.
That's
and
weird.
now people are pointing that this game is being ruined
sucks.
because of her. I'm not so sure that all of that's true. I mean, there might be some mild truth to that maybe she wasn't ready for having a lead designer job. But, animations are team projects usually. So this isn't just one person messing everything up. This is a whole team.
Plus, there should have been somebody like above or something.
Yeah, like a quality control.
Yeah, someone's like, didn't somebody say something?
Aren't there like focus groups? People play games like, so what did you think of that game? I'm sure.
Didn't the testers notice this?
Yeah,
right. This is BioWare's problem, not one person's problem.
No,
this is way bigger than one person.
I had a theory, and James quickly shot it down. That sometimes I feel like some good game developers are like, well, we can put out a mediocre game and make $19 million, or a great game and make 24. You know what? 19 million is enough. And so they just put out like games that are fairly mediocre, but they just know people will buy them because there's so much hype and so much brand loyalty that, you know what? Like they're not too upset with pissing off.
Like every
fans.
Call of Duty since 2.
Okay, but would you say that they're trading in mediocrity for that they make enough money?
Don't we all?
I look at Mass Effect
Gotta get to
Andromeda.
work tomorrow.
I think the real problem here is they had a budget, and it's obvious where they dedicated.
Which is what? I've never played the game.
I don't know what the budget was, but
no. Where did they put it?
The environmental graphics, the overall graphics, not the animations, but the graphics themselves, the gameplay itself.
I did notice the I don't know what you call it, the set the spaceships that the environment they're walking around in. I mean, the walking was really distracting, but the environment they're walking around in looked really cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and the gameplay itself is really fluid and very colorful and very it's a lot of fun. And I think they needed to pull back on some of that and realize that Mass Effect, first and foremost for its fans, is about character-driven narrative. And they needed to invest in making the character-driven narrative really where the money was put and making everything else secondary to that. I mean, I'm not saying you get away with no gameplay, but that's not where you put the bulk of your budget, right?
I guess my question is, though, like, are people not going to buy it now?
We'll see.
You're
I mean,
gonna
it comes
return it?
out on Tuesday.
Oh, it's not out yet.
Yeah.
But they did a free preview. 10-hour free preview.
The free preview came out. We played the preview, which is about 10 hours.
So do you think that they'll who makes BioWare?
BioWare
take a big hit?
and the publisher is EA.
But it seems like if they did everything else so well, they could have just fixed the faces.
Yeah. Now,
well, they say they didn't, but they could. I
Yeah.
mean, if enough gamers are upset and not buying the game, I mean, they could not easily, but they could release a patch.
no. On the one hand, you could be upset at this. On the other hand, get some perspective. You should see what MLB The Show is giving its fans.
I've
Have you
seen
seen
that.
this? Do you have this, Chris, for us?
Oh man!
Can you put? Oh, it's so nightmarish. I can't even look.
I mean, is that what just happened to one person? Because I saw that on Reddit. Is that just
It's just a glitch that sometimes happens.
But see, I'm way more willing to forgive a glitch than...
Gosh,
That is
take
so
this?
gross.
I mean, I can't
It's
even.
so gross.
It's nightmare material. Oh my goodness, that's.
It actually makes the hair raise on my arms.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's so nasty.
See,
I'm surprised that there isn't some kind of horror movie that has.
I'll
somebody
forgive
just
a glitch,
ahead
though,
of
because a
her.
glitch doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
Or
Right,
sometimes
right.
it slips by or something. You watch Mass Effect for a few minutes, and it's like, what's going on with their
I
faces?
mean, even is it a third person?
Yeah.
So you have to literally look at that person the way they walk, third person, every time you like walk on the ground.
No, that was a glitch you saw. We were doing that kind of crab walk, whatever.
Yeah, that's not every time.
But even the regular walk,
But the
third
facial
person,
expressions are every
when
time.
they were outside walking, the hips they just move a little too much. Like it was too circular when
The
they walked.
boom
you know?
swagger.
Oh man. that was-
All right, moving on from that. PlayStation Plus in April, one of the free games has been revealed, and it's a game called Deronda Death, made by famous game creator David Jaffe. He's the guy behind the Twisted Metal series.
Oh, I love
Did you ever play those Twisted Metal games?
They're great.
So the story with David Jaffe, though, is he was behind at least, I believe, 3 different games that have been in a weird... They're all getting made, for all I know, because I haven't played them, to be honest. They could be very high quality. In fact, everything I've heard has been positive. But Sony doesn't seem to know what they want to do with them. First, they were going to be free to play, like freemium.
Okay.
And then they're like, no, we can't do that. We need
These are all games that aren't out yet.
They're all in different stages, and they're all recent, I would say. Some aren't out. Some are about to be out. Some have been out just a short amount of time. But first, the plan was freemium. And as they were going through, the thing about freemium is that allows you to put things out in like beta stages, so you can kind of get input. Mm-hmm. And as they were going through that, they were like, it's not going to work. That model's not going to work. So they took it back. And they said, no, we're going to sell this at $59.99 price. And now in the case of Deronda Death, well, now it will be free for PlayStation Plus owners, right, in the month of April.
Okay. But it's been out for a while?
No, not this one. Well, actually, it has been out, but it's a very recent game.
Okay.
So the news here is it seems like Sony doesn't know what to do with these David Jaffe games. A lot of them are sort of... I don't want to say MOBAs. MOBA's not even the right word, but they're like hero shooters, arena shooters is probably a good way of putting it.
Okay.
The art style for Deronda Death is really cool. The whole thing looks like it's a sketchbook.
Okay.
But it's 3D graphics. Have you seen this?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's all very sketchbook.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and it's pretty neat. But I don't know. It seems that Sony has these and David Jaffe's last Twisted Metal game, which was the PlayStation 3 Twisted Metal game.
Yeah, I didn't play that. I heard it was not really good.
Exactly. And I'm wondering what's going on.
I wanted a
with this guy.
revisit of being an Axel and just shooting people and having fun.
Instead, you had to
heard-
be part of like I can't remember what the term gangs kind of thing, and
Yeah, I didn't even-
it wasn't. They need to just know what works with Twisted Metal and
Twisted
put out
Metal
what
was
works.
fun. We actually, when PS3, probably
Twisted
6
Metal
months-
Black on the PlayStation 2 was sick.
When they started re-releasing some PS2 games for PS3, you could just buy them in the store.
Right.
They were so much fun, but it was just so funny. I remember the graphics as a kid being really good, but then they were so bad at the new one. Like, you pick up an item, You pick them. I'm like, did I just pick up a missile or like a candle? Like, what did I? You just didn't even know. Like as a kid, I guess you just didn't care. You just picked up a weapon and you just fired it immediately.
Exactly.
But now, like with like HD graphics, you were like, what? What score? What number is that? Like I couldn't tell if my score was like 880 or 333. Like, but they were still. You didn't care because they were so much fun. You didn't care about the graphics were.
Well, the news only gets worse. Telltale continues to melt down. One of my favorite companies. I mean, I don't think any of their games, save for maybe I'm replaying right now with my wife, Walking Dead Season 1, which is even better than I remember it. I've played through it a number of times, but now that I've been given some time and we're playing it again, I can kind of sit back and look for the details instead of following the story.
Okay.
You know, because the story is new for
you
her.
Just let her play and you just kind of look around.
Right, and it is a very well crafted story. The camera angles, it's kind of weird to say cinematography when you say a video game, but essentially the cinematography is really amazing. And so aside from Walking Dead Season 1, I wouldn't say that any of Telltale's games would be like on my top 10 favorites of all time, but I just really enjoy their stories, right? Yeah. And but they've been in a weird situation recently. 4 major employees, people who are very important to the company, left together as a unit and moved over to, I think it was Ubisoft, right? Yeah, Ubisoft. Yeah. And now they've just put out a statement reading that their CEO has, who has led Telltale over the past couple of years, has stepped down. Well, I'm not properly reading this at all, but essentially, he's stepped down. Their CEO of the last few years.
Wow.
So nobody knows what's going on, but you don't have 4 people leave as a unit and then a CEO just step down and pretend like nothing's happening at this company. We might be seeing, hopefully Season 3 gets finished before before the real nuclear bomb hits, right?
You could see how Half-Life 3 came out. Oh, wait. I mean, never get finished.
Yeah. Half-Life 3, the Telltale story? That would take off.
Were you a designer that you came in to be hired to finish Half-Life 3 and then... Yeah, you got to find your office because it's impossible.
Well, yeah.
But I think we've talked about Telltale a little bit, and I know Chris doesn't like it, but maybe it's a little bit polarizing, so that if they don't put out something good as their next game, I could see maybe them not being around for very long.
I have the feeling that they expanded their business too quickly.
Okay.
I think The Walking Dead really blew up. It probably gave them a huge cash flow, and they obviously split into 2 different teams so they could put out 2 games a year. But the thing is their games are far too similar. So you don't need, and they spread out, right? You don't get all 5 episodes of a season all at once. You get them over like 5 months, maybe 6 months. And so you don't need that twice a year. You get bored of it very quickly. And I think they spread them. They put out too much of their own product. I think people are maybe getting sick of them, and they're not just doing the sales they were expecting. Right. They thought Walking Dead was a sign of the times, that they were going to be on top of the world, and they essentially did the thing that. Do you remember? Not Dunkin' Donuts. What's the donut company that was just everywhere?
Krispy Kreme?
Krispy Kreme, right? It used to be that there was Krispy Kreme locations in every town. They were in every supermarket. They had their own little section in the supermarket. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing Krispy Kreme, and then they oversaturated. It made people sick of them. And
I don't know, man. I could go for a Krispy Kreme right now.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
Krispy Kreme would probably like your business right about now.
Krispy Kreme every day. Anyways.
That's because you probably can't find them.
Well, because I haven't had one in like 10 years. But
Right.
I know, I find it, I mean, I don't know Chris's opinion on it was, but it's a little bit frustrating, like finishing a game, like, oh, I have to wait how long before I can like proceed to the next level, essentially. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3.
Oh, yeah.
Episode or whatever. I remember it really backfired on me. So I remember when Battlefield 3 came out, I bought it, and I felt like way too... And then they released downloadable content, premium content. And within a year, you could get the bonus edition. You could buy the game for $60, and then it came with all the...
Yeah. What's what we call a Game of the Year edition.
So then... Okay, yeah, similar. And then when Battlefield 4 came out, I'm going to wait for the one to come out with all the free content. And then they never did that with Battlefield 4. I was like, crap. And I never even bought the game because I just waited, and then the desire to play it. Actually, I still want to play it. But I could be frustrated with Telltale in the sense that I don't know if I would like to play that way, season at a time. I would just think, in my head, I would just wait till they all come out at once and then buy some kind of bundle. which I'm sure they've done that. And so maybe their sales have gone down because people aren't sure if they're ready to invest in season 1, and they might just wait till it's over, or wait till the reviews come out, or wait until people say the game is good as a whole, as opposed to season by season.
Yeah. Also, I think they maybe put out some of their games on sales that were too good. Like there was a point in time, I bought every Telltale game that had come out up until that date.
Okay.
For $60 on the PlayStation 4 on one sale.
Wow.
And it was Walking Dead season 1 and 2. I think it was Wolf Among Us. I think it was the Game of Thrones game. I don't think it was the Borderlands game. And then it was a bunch of stuff that had come out before The Walking Dead.
Games with it too, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't out at this point in
Okay.
time. And it was a bunch of games that had come out before The Walking Dead games had come out. And that's a lot of game that I bought for $60.
Yeah.
And I think they maybe put the stuff out in such great sales that they've convinced people to wait for those sales.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Steam sales. There's so many times I look at a game on Steam and I'm like, that looks awesome, but you know what?
Humble bundle.
In 3 months, I'm going to get that for half the price.
Yeah, like $2.
And I wait. I just put on my wish list. My wish list will tell me when this is on sale.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think that's maybe happened. Chris, didn't you have some PC news for us?
Nope.
There's no PC news.
No, there's nothing too big. Morrowind came out for Elder Scrolls Online,
Ah.
so that's pretty cool.
EVE Online. People still play that junk?
Yeah.
Back to you,
Yeah,
Arnie.
pretty much every online thing.
If you
There's
play
still
EVE
somebody
Online,
would play.
comment right now and tell me why. Are you a banker during the day?
Anything
or
that's online that there's still somebody
anything
somewhere
that's
playing
online?
it.
I thought about opening up Warhawk. Do you remember Warhawk from PS3?
There were people who were mad when the Halo 2 servers were taken down.
Yeah. There was a guy that
Like, 'cause
purposely left the
anything
game
online-
running.
People play.
There was a group of just a few people that kept made sure that some of them were always running online Halo 2, so they couldn't turn the server off.
That's awesome.
And that went on for months.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they had to talk them down from that ledge.
We're gonna shut it down.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Moving on, Nintendo Switch has had a weird week as for its release. There's been a lot of interesting
Has it been
stories.
weird?
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be selling well, but the news seems to be repeatedly mediocre to
best-selling
poor.
Console they've made.
In the U.S. It's the
Ever?
best sell. It's the best launch they've ever had in the U.S.
Which could just be supply. They could have just flooded the market.
Right. Well, that's the thing is that's because in previous years they purposely didn't put that many out there, so it would sell out very quickly.
Yeah.
So it just seems like what they did this time around was put enough out there.
You can only do that trick once.
Right.
So can you buy one right now? Like, can walk into Best Buy and be like, "Give me a Switch."
I'm sure if I wanted one, I could find one today. I mean, it might take me a couple hours of clicking
Can you
on
get
the
on?
internet.
Can you get one on
making some
Amazon
phone
like right
calls.
now?
Let me see.
I'll let Chris find that out. But this is what the news is. So there was a video so they had announced that there's not going to be cloud saving features on the Switch, which everybody was ticked off about because that's becoming an expected feature of video game consoles.
What does that mean? I mean, I know what it means, but give me the context of Nintendo Switch. What would that allow?
Well, so on my PlayStation 4, I play The Witcher. I save the game while I sleep, or really even immediately. It loads that save up until my cloud
Right.
for PlayStation.
So when you log in, to your
Xbox, same
account,
thing.
your saves are within
From
your
somewhere
account.
else, it's based on the account electronically. Or if your PlayStation, for example, takes a dump and you have to buy a new one, you don't lose all your save files because they're
367 used and new from $440.
So plenty.
yeah. I mean,
It's
well,
got 4 out of 5 stars though on Amazon.
So cloud saving has become like a pretty regular feature, and that would be particularly useful for a wireless system, but it doesn't have it. So people were already ticked off about that, and then this video was leaked of a guy or of somebody seemingly beta testing cloud saving features on the Nintendo Switch, and so the news went out everywhere. Wait a minute, is it leaked that it really is coming? And everybody got super excited.
Yeah.
And then, in response to that, somebody has, I'm reading this on IGN, has basically shown on NeoGAF that that was an edited video using some editing trickery to make it seem like it's cloud saving when it's not really.
Fake news.
So it turned out to be a false positive here.
Okay.
And now everybody's bummed again that there's no cloud saving features coming. Nintendo, I think what a lot of people are realizing about the Nintendo Switch is it's a great idea that was released 6 months too early.
6 months too early. It's not a finished product.
Yeah, I mean, especially on the UI side, on the software side of things. Also, just not having enough games. It has a lot of games at
Does it
launch.
still scratch your screen when you put it in the...
Yeah, I'm seeing
certain
that in the
ones do.
reviews right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that are launching with the system, but only 3 of them have only been on the Switch. All the
Only
other
3
games,
exclusives?
well, yeah, all the other games. Well, it's one thing to be exclusive. It's another thing that they were like already on other consoles or PC for a year or more.
Yeah.
You know, that's you don't necessarily need to be exclusive, but you need to be timely. Like, you can have a launch that's got, let's say, the next Call of Duty. Everybody's gonna have Call of Duty, but you're getting it at the time of when Call of Duty is fresh, right?
Nintendo was good at that a little bit. You know, it was like, here's the whatever console, whatever, and here's the games you can only get.
Right.
And we're going to drop them the same time.
My 11-year-old son thinks the controllers are too small.
They do look...
I think they feel like something you bought in the toy electronics aisle at Walmart.
They said the toilet electronics.
So it does come with...
Said
the
after
thing-
2 days of owning it, my kids are back on the Wii.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
It does
Jeez.
come with the one that you can attach the two together and make it... That's like
The
this.
Pro controller thing?
It comes with one of those?
No.
Oh.
Oh, it does come with one
Oh,
of
it
those.
You can put two
And not the
together,
Pro controller. It's the thing that allows the
Oh,
two
yeah.
Joy-Cons to connect together.
so you can
You get
play
one
by
of them.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
and
it's just
just a
just
little piece of news about this South Park Fractured Butthole. It has been announced that there's currently no plan to bring it to the Switch. So the Switch continues to not get games.
Fractured butthole.
Way to prove that the Switch is already an old piece of hardware.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what it's like.
Well, it's not like the South Park games are super graphics intensive.
I know. I mean, it's the
Right.
same graphics engine that was on the PS3 and the Xbox 360.
I think a year will be interesting to see what happens in a year. Because if they're flooding the market now, it means it's not necessarily going to be the hot item for Christmas. And if it's not the hot item for Christmas, then people means they already have it and they don't want it. And then by this time next year, you better get one for like $49. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in a year. Because game consoles, usually within a year, are probably still selling really well with no replacement in sight or no new update in sight. And then by the end of the second year, you get a PS4 Pro or whatever. So it'd be interesting to see where it stands in a year as far as people wanting to buy it and wanting to play it and what games they put out.
Yeah. And you know what, Chris?
Yes.
I think that was the
I do
news of
know
the week.
what- Oh.
We at Game Club want to thank you for watching this video. And if you would, please like, subscribe right here, watch a couple extra videos, and keep playing games.